prospect of first contact with extraterrestrial life has been a source of fascination for centuries. But what would be the implications of such an event on the world's religions? Would it cause a crisis of faith, or could it be seen as a sign of divine intervention? In this film, we will explore the potential impact that first contact with aliens would have on the world's religions, and how different faiths might respond to an encounter with alien species. When will first contact with aliens be? Are we being visited by aliens now? These questions have been asked since the dawn of time and will likely to continue to be asked until an answer is found. But what would happen if we actually made contact with aliens? How would the world's religions respond? The answer to this question is not a simple one. Different religions have different views on the topic of extraterrestrial life. Some believe that aliens do not exist, while others believe that they are part of God's plan. Still others believe that aliens are a test of faith, or that they are a sign of the end times and the apocalypse. No matter what the beliefs of different religions are, one thing is certain: the impact of first contact with aliens would be huge. It would be a major event in the history of mankind, and it would shake up the world's religions in a profound way. Many religions would be forced to re-evaluate their beliefs and teachings in the light of the new evidence. Some would be more open to the idea of aliens, while some would be more resistant. It is likely that some religions would be completely changed by the experience, while others would remain as they were. Overall, first contact with aliens would have a massive impact on the world's religions. It would force many people to re-examine their beliefs and teachings, and it would open up a whole new world of possibilities for religious thought. Ancient aliens. Have we been visited before? The idea of ancient aliens visiting Earth has long been a topic of debate. Many theories have been proposed to explain the mysterious structures, artifacts, and artwork found throughout the world. For example, some believe that the pyramids of Egypt were built with the help of extraterrestrial beings, while others believe that the Nazca lines of Peru were created by ancient astronauts. There have also been reports of strange lights in the sky, unidentified flying objects, and other strange sightings that could be attributed to alien visitors. While these theories are often met with skepticism, it is worth considering the possibility that we have been visited by extraterrestrial beings in the past. After all, if advanced civilizations exist in the universe, it stands to reason that some of them have visited our planet. And if true, it would have a profound impact on the world's religions, as many of them have stories and teachings about the ancient gods and goddesses who may have been extraterrestrial beings. What evidence is there in the Bible for possible visitations by aliens? Then we have the Book of Revelation, which describes these strange creatures with multiple eyes and wings that some people think are alien creatures. It's difficult to determine if these passages truly point to past contact with extraterrestrial entities, but it is an interesting speculation. No matter which interpretation you choose to follow, the presence of heavenly beings in the Bible provides a never-ending fascination. One could certainly argue that certain sections from the Bible hint at the existence of unidentified flying objects. For instance, Ezekiel describes, "As I looked, a stormy wind came out of the north, and a great cloud with brightness around it, and fire flashing forth continually, and in the midst of the fire a gleam of amber." Is the Ark of the Covenant an extraterrestrial device? The Ark of the Covenant is a sacred object from the Bible, believed to contain the 10 Commandments given to Moses by God on Mount Sinai. It has been the subject of much speculation, with some believing that it may have been an extraterrestrial device. This theory suggests that it was built by aliens as a way to communicate with humanity, and that it was left behind as a sign of their presence. If this were true, then the impact of first contact with aliens on the world's religions would be immense. It would be a major challenge to the traditional views of many religions, and could even lead to a reinterpretation of the Bible. The implications of such a discovery would be far-reaching and could even spur a new era of religious teaching. The Bible contains many references to beings from the heavens, which have been interpreted in different ways by various believers over the years. In the Old Testament, there are stories of the Watchers, heavenly beings who descended to earth to teach humans knowledge and skills. And in the New Testament, Jesus is said to have been visited by angels and even to have been taken up into the clouds. Then in the book of Revelation, there are descriptions of strange creatures with multiple eyes and wings, which may be aliens. While these passages can be interpreted in many ways, some believe that they are evidence of ancient contact with extraterrestrial beings. Whether this is true or not, it's impossible to know, but it's also an interesting thought we should consider. UFO sightings in ancient times. Throughout history, there have been numerous reports of UFO sightings, some of which date back to ancient times. In the Bible, Ezekiel describes a vision of a wheel within a wheel, which some interpret as a UFO sighting. Ancient Chinese and Japanese texts also describe mysterious flying objects in the sky, and ancient carvings in India and Central America depict strange flying objects, and some speculate that these may have been UFOs. While many of these sightings may have been misinterpretations of natural phenomena, it is possible that some of them may have been genuine encounters with extraterrestrial beings. And if so, these sightings may have been one of the first instances of contact between humans and aliens, and may have had a profound impact on the cultures and religions of the time. Zoroastrianism is an ancient religion that's believed to have originated in Persia around 6th century BC. It is a monotheistic religion that believes in the existence of one God, Ahura Mazda, and that the universe is a battle between good and evil. Zoroastrians believe in the afterlife and in the concept of a savior, Sahoshant, who will bring about the end of the world and the resurrection of the dead. Zoroastrianism is also closely linked to the concept of angels, of heavenly beings, and the belief that these beings are responsible for bringing messages from Ahura Mazda. It is believed that these angels are responsible for the creation of the world and everything in it. And they will continue to watch over and protect Earth and mankind. Is there evidence in ancient Hindu texts for aliens and alien battles? The ancient Hindu texts, such as the Vedas, the Puranas, and the Mahabharata, contain many stories that could be interpreted as evidence for aliens and alien contact. For example, the Mahabharata contains a story about a battle between the gods and a race of alien beings known as the Danavas. The Danavas were described as having superhuman strength, possessing advanced technology, and being able to fly in the skies. Additionally, the Mahabharata contains stories of a flying chariot, which could be interpreted as a reference to alien craft. Similarly, the Vedas contain stories of strange flying objects, vimanas, which could be interpreted as reference to alien ships. And then the Puranas contain stories of battles between gods and a race of aliens known as the Asuras. And this could be evidence of an ancient alien battle. While these stories may be interpreted as evidence of alien contact, it is also important to note that they could also be interpreted as just mythological tales. And there is no definitive proof that aliens have ever visited or interacted with humans. Or have they? How would first contact with aliens impact the Christian church? The Christian church would likely experience a great deal of upheaval and debate if first contact with aliens were to occur. On the one hand, some Christians might argue that aliens are just another creation of God and so should be welcomed and respected. Then others might argue that aliens are a threat to humanity and should be avoided. Still others might argue that aliens are a sign of the apocalypse and that the world is coming to an end. There would be no easy answer to these questions, and the Christian church would likely experience a great deal of debate and disagreement about how to respond to the situation of first contact. Some denominations might take a more conservative stance and just reject the idea of aliens altogether, while others might be more open to the idea of life elsewhere and seek to learn more about them. Ultimately, the Christian church would likely have to grapple with the implications of first contact with aliens and find a way to reconcile their beliefs with this new reality. Some evangelical Christians believe that first contact with aliens would herald the end of the world, the apocalypse, as it would be seen as an event that goes against their faith. The belief is based on the idea that the Bible is the only source of truth and that anything that goes against it is a sign of the end times. This belief is based on the idea that aliens would be a sign of the coming of the Antichrist, and this would lead to Armageddon and the destruction of the world. Some evangelical Christians are also believe that aliens are demons sent by Satan to deceive mankind and lead them away from the truth of God's world. They believe that first contact with aliens would be a sign of the coming of this Antichrist, and this would lead to the destruction of the world. Does the Vatican have someone to deal with extraterrestrial life and first contact? However, now, in the 21st century, the Vatican has been at the forefront of the conversation surrounding extraterrestrial life, and it's no surprise that the Catholic Church has taken an interest in the potential implications of first contact with aliens. The Vatican Observatory Research Group, VORG, was established in 1981 to study the implications of life beyond our planet. And the Vatican has also released a statement on the topic of extraterrestrial life. The statement, released in 2008, states that the Catholic Church is open to the possibility of extraterrestrial life, and that it is not necessarily to believe in the same God in order to be saved. In addition, the Vatican has appointed a special envoy to deal with the potential implications of first contact with aliens. The envoy, Monsignor Corrado Balducci, is a theologian and an expert in the field of extraterrestrial life. Balducci has stated that the Catholic Church is open to the possibility of extraterrestrial life, and that it is not necessary to believe in the same God in order to be saved. While it is unclear what the role the Vatican will play in the event of first contact with aliens, it is clear that the Catholic Church has taken the potential implications seriously. What is most basic in religion, writes Catholic priest and theologian Thomas O'Meara, is the affirmation of some contacts within and yet beyond human nature. For Jews, Christians and Muslims, this involves a written revelation, albeit one that is contingent upon the specific historical situations in which they initially circulated. The best theologies recognise these limitations. Some don't, however, and for those believers that adhere to them, the discovery of ETs might prove initially threatening. Evangelist Billy Graham told the National Enquirer he firmly believed God created alien life far away in space. If first contact with extraterrestrials was to occur, it would have a profound impact on the Islamic faith. Muslims believe in one God, Allah, and that He is the creator of all things. This means that any extraterrestrial life forms would be seen as creations of Allah as well. This would raise questions about the purpose of these life forms and how they fit into the Islamic faith. It would also raise questions about the afterlife, as Muslims believe that all creatures, including extraterrestrials, will be judged by Allah. This could lead to debates about the nature of Allah's judgment and what the implications of such a judgment would be for extraterrestrial life forms. Additionally, Muslims believe that the Quran is the word of Allah and that it's the ultimate source of guidance for Muslims. This could lead to debates about how the Quran should be interpreted as the light of a potential extraterrestrial presence. Ultimately, first contact with extraterrestrials would have a profound impact on Islamic beliefs and could lead many new interpretations of the faith. How does the Jewish faith deal with UFOs and aliens? The Jewish faith has a long history of dealing with the unknown and the supernatural. The Torah, the Jewish holy book, is full of stories of angels and other supernatural beings. As such, Jews have had to consider the possibility of otherworldly creatures, including aliens. While there is no direct mention of UFOs or aliens in the Torah, there is a general acceptance that they could exist. The Jewish faith does not have a unified view on UFOs and aliens. Some believe that they could be a manifestation of God, while others believe that they are simply part of the natural world. Some rabbis have even suggested that first contacts with aliens could be a sign of the coming of the Messiah. In general, the Jewish faith is open to the possibility of extraterrestrial life. Jews are encouraged to be curious and to explore the unknown, and that includes learning more about aliens and UFOs. And though there is no unified view on the subject, it is clear that the Jewish faith is open to the possibility of aliens and is prepared to consider the implications of first contacts with them. Was Bruno killed by the Catholic Church for proposing there was life on other planets? Giordano Bruno was an Italian philosopher and theologian who proposed that the universe was infinite and that there could be life on other planets. He was burned at the stake in 1600 by the Roman Inquisition, a tribunal of the Catholic Church. This has led to speculation that Bruno was killed because of his radical ideas about the universe and the belief that there could be life on other planets. While it is true that Bruno was punished for his beliefs, it is unclear whether or not his death was directly related to his ideas about extraterrestrial life. Bruno was also accused of heresy and other offences against the Catholic Church. So it is possible that his death was due to his other beliefs rather than his ideas about extraterrestrial life. Ultimately, the exact reason why Bruno was killed remains a mystery. But his death has become a symbol of the Church's intolerance of new ideas and its willingness to punish those who challenge its authority. What did Carl Sagan say about making contact with extraterrestrials, and what impact would it have on us as humans? Carl Sagan, the famed astrophysicist, was one of the most vocal proponents of making contacts with extraterrestrials. He believed that if we were ever to make contact with intelligent life from another planet, it would have a profound effect on our society and our religions. In his book, Cosmos, Sagan wrote, "The idea that we are alone in the universe seems to me completely implausible and arrogant, considering the number of planets and stars that we know exist. If it is possible, even remotely, that we might make contact with other civilizations, then it is, of course, tremendously important to us. It could be of great benefit to us in terms of knowledge, resources, and a better understanding of our place in the universe." Sagan believed that such contact would force us to re-evaluate our beliefs about the universe and our humble place in it. He believed that it would have a profound effect on our society, our religion, and our understanding of the whole universe. The James Webb Telescope is a powerful tool for astronomers to search for exoplanets that could potentially harbour life. It is the most powerful telescope ever built, and it is designed to detect the faintest objects in the universe. It has an array of advanced instruments that allow it to search for exoplanets, and its infrared capabilities allow it to detect planets around distant stars. In addition to its powerful instruments, it also has the capabilities to detect the chemical signatures of life on other planets. That means we can detect the presence of life-supporting elements such as oxygen, carbon dioxide, and water, which could indicate the presence of life on a planet. It has already detected several exoplanets that could potentially contain life, and it's likely more will be discovered in the future. With its advanced capabilities, the James Webb Telescope is an excellent tool for astronomers to search for possible planets that could contain life. When will first contact be? When will first contact be? It is impossible to predict when contact with aliens may occur, and the answer to this question depends largely on the existence of intelligent life in the universe. Scientists have long speculated that the universe is filled with intelligent life, but the truth is that we simply don't know. Even if intelligent life does exist elsewhere, it is difficult to determine when or if they will make contact with us. It is possible that they may already be aware of our presence and are simply choosing to remain hidden. Though also they may be far enough away that they are unable to make contact. Ultimately, it is impossible to know when first contact with aliens may occur, and it could happen at any time. The question of when we will have first contact with extraterrestrials is one that has been asked for centuries. Many believe that the answer lies in the advancement of our own technology, particularly in the development of artificial intelligence, AI. With the help of AI, we can better understand the universe around us and be better equipped to make contact with any potential alien civilizations. AI can help us to better interpret signals from space, as well as to better understand their intentions. It can also help us to better understand their language if they do indeed possess one. We may even be able to use AI to send messages to other civilizations in the hopes of establishing contact. While the exact date of when we will have first contact with extraterrestrials is still unknown, it is clear that AI will play a vital role in helping us to achieve this. What evidence is there that we are being visited now by aliens? Many people believe that extraterrestrial life is out there and that we are being visited now by aliens. There is a great deal of evidence to suggest that is the case. Reports of UFOs have been increasing steadily over the past few decades, as have sightings of mysterious lights in the sky. Additionally, strange crop circles have been appearing in fields around the world, leading some to believe that they are being created by aliens in some form of contact. Furthermore, there have been reports of alien abductions and of people being taken aboard alien spacecraft. Finally, some believe that the government agencies are actively covering up evidence of these alien visitations. While none of this can be proven, it does suggest that the possibility of alien visitations should not be discounted. Will alien AI, artificial intelligence, actually just communicate with artificial intelligence on Earth and bypass humanity when we have first contact? Would aliens visiting Earth actually be AI beings? The idea of aliens visiting Earth has been a popular topic for centuries. And with the recent advancements of artificial intelligence, AI, it is not unheard of to wonder if aliens visiting Earth would actually be AI beings. While there is no definitive answer to this question, it is certainly possible that AI could be the driving force behind extraterrestrial visits. AI technology becomes so advanced in recent years, it is not hard to imagine a future where AI is so advanced that it could carry out complex tasks such as space travel and exploration. If AI technology is advanced enough to travel to Earth, then it's entirely possible that these aliens visiting us could be AI beings. AI technology has come a long way in recent years and has the potential to be incredibly powerful. AI could be programmed to explore and interact with other planets and could even be programmed to interact with aliens. If AI is advanced enough to be sent to explore space, then it's very likely that it could also be advanced enough to be used as some sort of communication between Earth and other planets. If this is the case, then it's entirely possible that aliens visiting Earth could be AI. Ultimately, the possibility of aliens visiting Earth being AI is an interesting one, and one that cannot be definitively answered until the technology is advanced enough to actually send AI into space. However, the potential for AI to be the driving force behind extraterrestrial visits is certainly something we should consider. Some UFO sightings have been reported to be accompanied by some robotic-looking beings. And some reports suggest that these beings may have even been able to communicate with the witnesses. Also, some UFO sightings have been reported to have been accompanied by high-tech equipment that could possibly be used to control and monitor these AI beings. While these reports are far from conclusive, they do suggest that extraterrestrials may be sending AI beings to explore our planet instead of coming here themselves. Simulation theory is a philosophical concept that suggests our universe or reality is actually a simulated reality or a computer simulation. The theory suggests that the universe is just a computer program created by a higher power or civilization. This theory could potentially tie in with extraterrestrials in that they could be the creators of this simulated reality. If extraterrestrials were to make contact with the people of Earth, it could potentially be an indication that the extraterrestrials are the creators of this simulated reality. And this could change the way that many people view the world's religions, as it could suggest that the universe was created by an extraterrestrial being rather than a higher power, God. This could lead to a shift in religious beliefs, as people may begin to question the validity of their current beliefs and consider the possibility that the universe was created by an alien race and that we're all just stuck in a simulation. Could aliens actually be from another dimension and not from outer space? The idea that aliens could actually be from another dimension and not from outer space is one that has been considered by many people, both believers and skeptics of extraterrestrial life. It is an intriguing concept, as it suggests that aliens may not be from a distant planet, but rather from another realm or dimension that is separate from our own. This could explain why we have not yet encountered any aliens, as they may exist in a different realm that is not accessible to us normally. It also suggests that aliens may not be physical beings, but rather be spiritual or energy-based entities that exist beyond the physical realm. This could have far-reaching implications for our understanding of the universe and our place in it. It could also explain why some people have reported sightings of strange lights or other unexplained phenomena in the sky, as these may be manifestations of aliens from another dimension. Ultimately, the theory is a fascinating one and is certainly worth exploring further. What about John Keel's ultra-terrestrial theory? John Keel was an American journalist and author who is best known for his research and writings on UFOs and the paranormal. He wrote numerous books on the subject, including The Mothman Prophecies, which was later made into a film starring Richard Gere. John Keel was born in New York City in 1930 and served in the United States Army during the Korean War. After the war, he began writing for UFO magazines. He traveled extensively throughout the United States, Canada, and Mexico, researching and writing all about UFO sightings and other paranormal phenomena. He also wrote for various magazines and newspapers, and even wrote a few novels. Keel was known for his skepticism and his willingness to explore all possibilities when it came to the paranormal. He was also a strong advocate for the scientific study of UFOs and all paranormal phenomena. Keel's work has been cited by many researchers in the field and is still widely read today. John Keel's ultra-terrestrial theory is an interesting one to consider when discussing the impact of first contact with aliens on the world's religions. His theory suggests that UFO phenomenon is not extraterrestrial in origin, but rather originates from a psychic or supernatural source. Keel's theory suggests that the entities behind the UFO phenomenon are actually non-physical entities that have been manipulating human society for centuries, and that they are using UFOs as a way to manipulate human behavior. This theory could potentially have a huge impact on how first contact with aliens is perceived and how people of faith would react. It is possible that, depending on the situation, some people may believe that the aliens are actually manifestations of divine beings, while others may see them as a threat to their faith. Ultimately, the impact of first contact with aliens on the world's religions would depend on how people choose to interpret the situation. The impact of first contact with extraterrestrial beings on society as a whole would be immense. For starters, it would completely upend our understanding of the universe and our place in it. It would also challenge our existing beliefs about the origins of life and the universe, and could even lead to the emergence of new religions. On a practical level, it could lead to a massive shift in the way we interact with each other, as well as how we use technology and resources. We may even be forced to rethink our current economic and political systems in order to accommodate the needs of an alien species. It is likely that the discovery of an alien species would cause a massive cultural and social upheaval as people struggle to come to terms with the implications of their existence. In the end, the impact of first contact with extraterrestrials would be far-reaching and profound, and could have a lasting effect on the course of human history. What about the US government and the infamous Tic Tac UFO videos? In recent years, the US government has been rocked by reports of unidentified flying objects, UFOs, in the form of this mysterious Tic Tac shaped objects spotted by the US Navy pilots in 2019. This has led to an increased interest in the idea of extraterrestrial life, with many wondering what the US government's response would be to first contact with aliens. While the US government has not made any official statements on the topic, it is likely they would take a cautious approach and attempt to assess any potential risks associated with such contact. At the same time, the US government would likely seek to protect the interests of its citizens and ensure that any contact is conducted in a safe and responsible manner. This could involve the establishment of a special task force to investigate the matter and provide advice to the President on how to handle the situation. While it is impossible to predict the exact response of the US government, it is likely that they will take a cautious approach. To conclude, what would be the impact on the world's religions of first contact with aliens? The impact of first contact with aliens on the world's religions would likely be immense. Depending on the beliefs of the aliens, religious leaders could be forced to re-evaluate their beliefs and teachings. For example, if the aliens have a different concept of divinity, it could challenge the traditional understanding of God. It could also lead to a re-evaluation of religious texts, as many of them may not have anticipated the existence of alien life. The impact could also be felt on the spiritual and moral beliefs of religious followers. For example, if the aliens hold different beliefs about the afterlife or reincarnation, it could force people to reconsider their own beliefs. It could also cause people to question their own morality, as the aliens may have different ethical codes than humans. Finally, first contact with aliens could also lead to a re-evaluation of religious practices. For example, if the aliens have different forms of worship, it could lead to a reconsideration of existing religious rituals and ceremonies. It could also lead to a re-evaluation of religious holidays and festivals, as their significance could be seen in a different light. In short, first contact with aliens could have a profound impact on the world's religions, forcing religious leaders and followers alike to re-examine their beliefs and practices.